Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It's me, Dr. Christy, and I am thrilled to be here for our strategy session number 3 for our 10-day family wellness challenge. And today we're going to be talking about spiritual wellness. We've already done our strategy session number 1, where we focused on the physical and mental wellness and what that means, and the 3 underlying areas that we can work in each of those areas. And yesterday we did session number 2, which was on family or social wellness as well as emotional wellness. And I shared some excellent tips on that, and even gave some ideas for how you might set up your family wellness challenge. So for those of you who have joined the challenge, congratulations. I'm so excited that you're doing this with us. I'm going to be meeting with my family tonight to set up our goals and actually get started tomorrow. Tomorrow's the official date for us to get going. So there's still time for you to get set up. And in fact, I'm going to be going live later tonight with my kids. I'm going to make them come and share some of the things that they think about the challenge and maybe give some ideas. I don't know how to go. It's a total toss-up if it'll be a good thing or not. But anyway, you can join us tonight for that too, to get your family inspired and ready to go. But even whether you're doing the challenge or not, today is a really important topic. And one of my favorite things to share is some of the practices that I have found most helpful for my clients in my psychology practice, as well as in my own life, to increase spiritual connection, spirituality in all different areas and for all people. For everybody, no matter what your spiritual beliefs or practices are. These are all things that anybody can do, and really simple things. And the best, coolest thing is that these are all things that children can do, old people, everybody can do. Old people. Children probably think I'm old. So anyway, I'm just saying all ages and stages can do the same practices that we'll talk about today. And how cool is it if you start working on your own spiritual wellness and then you teach it to your family? Then you can be connecting together as well. And that's really part of spirituality, is it not? I mean, our relationships and our connections. So that's a really important part of it too. I'm so glad that you're here with me. And if you haven't already joined the challenge and you want to join the 10-day family wellness challenge, all you have to do is just go to my website, drchristinahibbert.com, and get your free guide and calendar, and then tell your family and get them on board. Today's the day to get everybody on board. I mean, you can start or do it anytime, but like I said, today I'm getting my family ready. We're starting tomorrow for 10 days, 5 goals each day, 5 simple goals. And it's going to be really cool to see what we can do for ourselves and our families. So let's get started talking about spiritual wellness. Now, to start off, I want to sort of address that term spiritual and spirituality, because in our world today, there's so much disagreement, I guess, about what it means to be spiritual, what spiritual practices should be or what they are. And really what we're talking about here is your connection to God, your connection to higher power, your connection to the universe, your connection to something bigger than yourself. And if you're wondering, I know a lot of you out there are like, yes, I know my beliefs. I know that I'm connected to something bigger than myself. I know I believe in God, or I believe in higher power. I believe in the universe, whatever it might be. But there are also going to be some of you who are going, well, I don't know what I believe. And I don't know if I believe there's something bigger than myself. But let me ask you this. Have you ever felt called or inspired or moved to do something? Have you ever felt like you have a purpose or a mission in this life? And if you've ever felt any sense of that, that has to have come from somewhere. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about spirituality, is connecting to that source that makes us who we are, that has given us life, that helps us to create ourselves and our families and our world and what we need to do in this world to become the best that we can be. And so that's what we're talking about. We're talking about spiritual connection. And for some, that's going to mean religion. And it does come through, I go to church. I'm going to be going to church in a couple hours here. We go in the afternoon. So not everybody does. And that's okay. Nature, spending time in nature, being outside and, connecting with the stars and the creations of this world. That can be spiritual practice. And today we're going to focus on, I'm going to teach you 3 different ideas or concepts that you can start to work on, and you might want to pick one for your spiritual wellness goal in the 10-day family wellness challenge. And even if you're not doing the challenge, again, you can still work on this. Okay, so it's very cool. So I'm going to share the first one, which is the first principle that's incredibly important when we're talking about spiritual wellness, is spiritual connection. And so the question for you to ask yourself, and you can think about this and ask yourself this right now, and if you want, you can comment, how do you connect spiritually? How do you feel most connected spiritually? What helps you to feel that more in your life? And for some, it's easy. It's easy. You know how that is. It's a daily thing. For others, it's more of a struggle. And so be honest with yourself. How much of a struggle is it for you to feel that spiritual connection daily? Because that's our number one principle when we're talking about spiritual wellness. We have to feel connected to something bigger than ourselves. That's the whole definition of spirituality. If we're not feeling connected to something bigger than ourselves, then we're missing the whole point. So what do you do to feel that connection then, is the second question. First, how connected do you feel? And do you feel like you could improve that? And I have to say, I'm pretty sure probably all of us, really not probably, all of us could improve that in some way. Even if you're doing pretty darn great, are you flourishing in this area? And if not, then there's always room for improvement. And even when we're flourishing, we can continue to improve. So what can you do to connect spiritually? And here are some suggestions. Like I just said, simple things like being in nature, like practicing stillness, like spending time with the people you love and doing what matters most. Service can help us feel connected to something greater. Really spending time focusing on our mission and purpose in life, that can help us to connect and to feel that spiritual presence and come, to that feeling like we're connected to God and to that bigger thing than us. And then what about a daily habit? What daily habits do you have? So, in general, you might think, okay, yeah, I feel connected spiritually, sometimes throughout the week, but not always daily. And to me, spiritual connection is like my number one priority. So if you're not sure what matters most, if you, this is a great question too that goes along with spiritual wellness, is what are your top 3 or top 5 things that you have in mind with your spiritual health and wellness? Like when it comes to what matters most to make you feel well and happy and healthy in your life, what are your top 2 or 3 or 4 or 5? Sorry, I got a little off. I got a text and got a little off for a second, but what matters most to you? Okay, so can you identify? So for me, I did this a long time ago, and I really, really spent some time writing down all the things that I thought were important and then ranking them like my top 3. And I can say my top 3 easily. My number 1 is my spiritual connection, my relationship with God, and therefore myself, my own personal growth and development and health and wellness and happiness. Because if I'm not well and if I'm not connected spiritually and receiving that inspiration that I need, that mission that I need, then I am not going to be able to give to my number 2 and my number 3. My number 2 is right there. It's my family. That's what matters most, spiritual connection and my relationship with God, my family, and contribution. Those are my top 3. Am I contributing to this world? Am I serving others? Am I, being a leader or teaching or learning and helping others and just serving in whatever way I can? Okay. So you might ask yourself that's part of a spiritual practice. And maybe during the challenge, you take the time to think, what are my top 3 of things that matter most to me? And am I spending the time each day that I need to on those top 3? So when we talk about spiritual connection too, that first principle under our spiritual wellness, another great idea is to set up what I call an hour of power. And it's an hour of power or a half hour of power or an hour and a half of power or whatever you want, but it brings the power into my life, and it definitely can do the same for you. So it's a great, great, great tool to use for yourself and also to teach your kids and your families. So what can we do to set up this hour of power? What does that mean? For me, it involves movement and meditation and prayer and scripture study and journaling, which they kind of all go together for me now. So I'll wake up, I'll do some exercise or movement. Sometimes it's my full activity, my exercise for the day for a half hour, an hour. Sometimes it's just I'm stretching a little bit for a few minutes, or I'm just kind of doing a little bit of yoga for 10 minutes just to get my body warmed up. But I find that my mind is better when I move a little bit because I'm a little bit more fresh. Then I can go into the meditation practice and prayer. Prayer and meditation go hand in hand for me. So I'll pray and then I'll do a meditation, which I'm going to show you and walk you through at the end of this. So watch for that. It's really cool. I love the meditation I do every day. And I can tell such a difference when I do it from when I don't. Okay, and then I'll open up my scriptures and I'll do my scripture study and journal and write. So I'll write about what's going on in my life, and I'll also write down questions that I'm seeking. And then as I'm reading my scriptures, as I'm praying, as I'm meditating, as I'm being still throughout the day, I'm getting answers. This is how we get answers to those questions that are bigger than us. And it's a great practice. This is such a great way to do that. When I write those questions in my journal and then open my scriptures and start to pray and meditate and exercise and listen, I always get the answers that I need. And then I can write those in my journal, and then I have that guidance for me personally that I need every day to keep me on track with my mission and my purpose. So you might think about setting up an hour or half hour of power every day using some of the things I just mentioned, but also whatever works for you. It doesn't have to be just like mine, but whatever works for you. Okay, so that's spiritual connection. We will talk more about that next Sunday when we're in the middle of the challenge. But that's our principle number one. Number two, when we're talking about spiritual connection, has to be meditation and stillness. So I am going to talk you through a couple of ideas for this. First of all is just deep breathing. So how do you practice deep breathing and that kind of breathing that actually brings more stillness and calm into your life? Let me teach you right now. Okay, so it's very simple. We can a simple way to do it is just to put your hand on your chest and down here on your belly. And just notice, first of all, how you're breathing. And usually we're breathing from up here in our chest. And that's great when we're exercising. We need to get all the breath in, but it keeps us kind of in that out of breath mode, and it's not the calming breath that we're looking for. So instead, what if you could breathe down into your body, into your belly, so much so that your belly itself would expand as you breathe and your chest actually goes down. So instead of, that's the regular breath that most of us do, we breathe like babies. Babies belly breathe all the time. Alliteration there. So try that. Breathe deeply down into your belly. And if you can see my hand, I'm breathing down, almost down to your toes. And we'll do another day where we just practice our breathing because it's so important. But focusing on breathing is a great way to be meditative and just to focus on your breath and just to take a few minutes to kind of calm down and remember, I'm still alive, I'm still here, I'm still, here present in my life right now. And then we can do meditation. And I'm going to walk you through and lead you through one of my favorite meditations. And I learned this several years ago from a speaker through my church. And it was such a powerful experience to me. It really made me just want to meditate every single day and to do this every single day. And I've also taught it to many people. When I go and speak, I do it with groups of women and groups of couples and groups of youth and even children, because it's such a powerful way for us to really get in tune with our spirit, which is exactly what we are trying to do when we're talking about spiritual wellness. And so you can just get comfortable wherever is good for you. Just get comfortable and spend some time just kind of, you can I like to put my palms open on my knees and kind of have my knees crossed like they are right here, but you can do whatever suits you best, okay? You can close your eyes or open your eyes, whatever works best for you. I find it easier to close my eyes because I don't have all the distractions of everything that I'm seeing. So you can just close your eyes and breathe for a moment, just like we talked about. Deep breathing into the belly. Calm yourself down. Take another deep breath. And this is what I call the spirit meditation. Hi, Terry. The spirit meditation. And I'm going to close my eyes throughout most of it because it helps me to focus better. So try this with me and see how you feel when you're done. It will just be a couple of minutes long. So you just breathe. And as you're breathing, I just want you to pay attention to first your breath. See if you can slow it down and make it deeper. All the way down to your toes, to your feet. And as you're paying attention to your feet and you keep on breathing, I just want you to notice how it feels inside your feet. You might wiggle your toes, you might move your feet, and have you ever really thought about what it feels like inside of each of your feet? And then, continuing to breathe, focus on your legs as you move up. What does it feel like inside your legs? Your lower legs, your calves, around up into your knees, your shins. What does it feel like in there? Just try to sense that. And continuing to breathe, what does it feel like up into your upper legs, your quads, your calves, not your calves, those aren't upper, your quads, your hamstrings on the backs of your legs, and up into your glutes. Perhaps you've exercised and you're sore. Perhaps you've been sitting down too much and you need to move. Perhaps, whatever the sensation is, you just need to focus on it. What does it feel like in your legs? Now, as you're in your legs as a whole, what does it feel like in your whole leg? Can you feel any kind of energy in there? Or can you kind of sense where the bones are and the blood? Whatever it might be, what does it feel like inside your legs as a whole? And then moving up, what does it feel like inside your pelvis? And then into your belly. And if you're doing that deep breathing we just talked about, then perhaps you can feel your belly expand and contract as you inhale and exhale, right? So what does it feel like in your belly as you breathe? Can you feel the breath going through your belly? Now, can you feel the breath moving up through your belly and into your lungs? What does it feel like in your lungs and in your chest? Can you feel it expand with the breath? What does it feel like on your back and your spine? Are you sitting tall? Are you slumped? Can you feel any pain or discomfort, or does it feel good? What does it feel like in your body, in your organs, your heart? Try to feel your heart. Have you ever tried to feel your actual heart and focus on your heartbeat? And then that breath, as it moves from your lungs and goes up and down through your windpipe, how does it feel in your neck and in your shoulders? And how do your shoulders feel in your back, your upper back? Is it tense? Does it need a break? Is it carrying too much? Or does it feel relaxed and comfortable? How does it feel moving down into your arms? What do your arms feel like right now? Try to feel and sense into your fingertips. You might wiggle your fingertips to try to feel what they feel like. What does it feel like in your fingertips? Can you feel any kind of energy in them or life in them? And what does it feel like in your arms as a whole, from your fingertips all the way up to your shoulder? Just try to focus on what that feels like. And then moving back up into your neck, and again catching that breath as it goes down into your belly and your lungs, and exhales back up through your mouth and nose. What does it feel like in your face? What does it feel like in your chin? Have you ever tried to feel your chin, inside your chin? What does it feel like inside your cheeks? Are you smiling? Did you know you were smiling? Are you frowning? What do your cheeks feel like? What does it feel like in your mouth? Is your mouth still or talking? Is it smiling or frowning? And what does it feel like inside your mouth? Perhaps you still have the taste of something in your mouth. What does it feel like in your nose as you breathe? Can you feel the breath going in and out of your nose or your mouth? What does it feel like in your eyes? Have you ever thought about what it feels like in your eyes and behind your eyes, in your eye socket, and back up into your head and into your brain? What does it feel like in your brain? Have you ever tried to focus on what it feels like in your brain? Well, try to do that now. What does it feel like? Do you feel like you've been thinking a lot? Does your brain feel calm? What's going on in there? What does it feel like? And what does it feel like in your ears? I can wiggle my ears just a little. You can't see it, but what does it feel like when you focus on your ears and what you're hearing right now? And now I want you to pay attention to the body as a whole as we take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. And deep inhale all the way down to your toes, and exhale. And one more inhale and exhale. And now continue breathing, and I just want you to pay attention to your body as a whole. And I want you to see if you feel anything in your body that you might consider feels like an energy or aliveness. Some people say it's like a tingling or a numbness sensation. And sometimes if you don't feel it in your body as a whole, it's easier just to focus on your hands. You can just do that. But focus and see if you can feel a sense of aliveness, of light, of life, of energy, tingling, numbness, anything in your body. And focus on that. If you get any sensation of that at all, focus in on it. And if you don't, that's okay. It takes practice, but focus in on that if you do, and see what that feels like, because this is your spirit. This is your spirit, what makes you alive, the thing that is you, that fills your body, that carries on after you die. That is your spirit that you feel. That energy is your spirit. And isn't that cool and amazing to feel your spirit? And what if you could feel your spirit fully enter your body and feel that energy and that spirit completely fill every inch of your body? I can feel that right now. And what if your spirit could be even bigger than your body? Could it? I mean, it's formless, so yeah, it could, right? So what if it could be just bigger than your body? And so it just barely goes bigger than your body. And what does that feel like? Do you feel the energy of that and the increase in energy and aliveness that you can feel? And then what if your spirit could fill the entire room you're in? And I have to tell you, when I do this with other people, I feel this connection with all of them, like this crazy intense energy that fills this room. And especially when I do it with young people, oh, they're so alive. What if your spirit could fill this entire room? And what if your spirit could even be beyond this room that you're in and could go and send love to anybody and everybody that you love and care about, wherever they may be? My son's in Fiji. Maybe I could send him some love there right now and tell him I love you and I'm thinking of you. Maybe our spirit is that big, and maybe our spirit's big enough that it can connect with our higher power, with the universe, with God. And that is how we truly experience the fullness of a spiritual connection, is by doing this and realizing that we are spirit and God is spirit and the universe is spirit, and that as we do these things to increase our spiritual wellness, we are greater connected and feel that sense of aliveness. And when you're ready, you can take another deep breath and open your eyes. Okay, that was a long time being on a camera with my eyes closed. But you see, I love that. I don't know how you feel about it. I'd love to hear your comments for anybody that watches this later to see what you felt about that. I just absolutely love doing that. And I feel so alive right now. I feel like I am just like my spirit is fully in my body. My mind is fully awake. And that to me is spiritual connection. So when we meditate, we are focusing on something bigger than ourselves and something outside of ourselves. And we're getting out of our thoughts and we're getting out of all the worries and all the feelings that we worry about all the time and that stress us out. And we're getting into that feeling of connection with the divine that helps us to feel whole and healthy and well and gives us that sense of meaning and purpose for each day. That's why I love spiritual wellness. It's my favorite thing. And number 3, so we just talked about number 1, spiritual connection as part of spiritual wellness and the hour of power. And number 2, our meditation, which I just did, the spirit meditation. Go back and try it if you missed it. And number 3 then is gratitude practice. Oh my goodness. How can you have spiritual wellness without gratitude, right? You cannot have spiritual wellness without gratitude. So what do you do to practice gratitude every day? And we're going to have a whole day on gratitude practice during the 10-day wellness challenge. So again, be sure you're joining us for the challenge and join me here live every day to do that. But just a couple of simple ideas. When I was talking about that hour of power earlier, part of that is movement. Part of that is I combine sometimes when I go for walks and jogs, I combine the movement with the prayer, with the gratitude practice. And boy, how powerful it is when we combine, start combining these practices together. So I'll be walking, and as I'm walking, I start praying, and just a prayer of gratitude. Just praying, thanking God for everything I've been given. Everything, like literally my toes and my feet. I'm so grateful I have legs that I can walk, and the beautiful birds chirping, and I'm sending love to them. And it's great. It's so fabulous. And so it's a prayer, but it's a gratitude practice. And so as you move throughout the day and as you go throughout your activities, just maybe take some time where maybe it's when you're driving or when your kids get home, maybe sit down with them and say, okay, let's talk about 5 things we're grateful for today. And then we can talk about the hard things of the day, or tell me your troubles, but then we also have to, talk about the good things from today. All of these are great gratitude practices, as well as obviously keeping a gratitude journal, or if you just include gratitude into your journal that you already have, that's a great practice too. Part of that hour of power, when I do my journaling, I'm always writing out the things I'm grateful for. And when I'm doing that, like I talked about, doing that journaling and then prayer and scripture study and meditation and then journaling again and writing down the answers I receive as I'm still and listening, I always write out my gratitude in my journals. And I also have a gratitude journal, and I have a million journals. So there you go. So there's a lot of ways to do that. And there's also another great exercise that we'll talk about in a few days when we do our gratitude wellness day. So hopefully this has been helpful and gives you some ideas and strategies to get you and your family started on the path of spiritual wellness. If you don't feel like you already are, or even if you're already on the path, to just take it to the next level. That's what this whole challenge is all about. It's not that we are all just doing terribly in life. It's not that we are all, have it figured out either, though. It's that wherever we are, whatever level you're on, in any of those 5 core areas, physical, mental, emotional, social, and spiritual, there's always a next level, people. There's always a next level, right? So that goes for our spiritual wellness, just like for all those other areas of wellness. So what is your next level? Of spiritual wellness, of physical wellness, of mental wellness, of emotional wellness, and of social wellness. And if you missed any of the strategy sessions that we've had so far, you can find them on the replay on Facebook and on IGTV, on Instagram, and also on my YouTube channel. So they're everywhere. And then I hope you have downloaded your guide and your calendar for the 10-day Family Wellness Challenge. It starts officially tomorrow. And tonight is when I'm going to be putting my our wellness challenge together. I'm going to come live and show you some of that. So that should be interesting. Who knows what my kids will do? We'll just see how that goes. So if you haven't already, get your family on board and join us. It's so cool. You can take everybody in your family to their next level in their own way. And oh gosh, I'm just so excited for this. And it's so fun that so many people have already joined us, and I can't wait for you to join us too. So be sure to check out drchristinahibbert.com, which is where you can find your free guide and that calendar that I'm talking about. Get your family set up for the challenge. And whether you're joining the challenge or not, join us for the strategy sessions. We're going to have deep dive strategy sessions into a lot of great tools, things that I haven't talked about yet, things that I teach my psychotherapy patients. They pay me good money to come and learn. So I'm going to teach you these skills, and you can teach them to your kids and your family, and oh, it's going to be so awesome. So, and hopefully if you didn't already do that spirit meditation, go back and do it, because that's what fires me up. It makes me feel that light and love and joy and peace and goodness and happiness and sense of purpose and meaning and mission inside myself. And then I can't help but share it with everybody else. And that's another big part of spiritual wellness that we talked about earlier, that service, right? Get out there and serve and love and help people today, and get them to do the Family Wellness Challenge, that service and love, right? All right, guys, make a great day. You've heard from me plenty. Mwah. Bye.